Hey family, just wanted to hop on real quick here before you hear this next episode about the spoiler review. So this contains spoilers. My review of the movie Sinners, which is a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna hop in here just to talk, because again, this like we say, and we kept this one short. This episode was at 20 minutes, so we're just tacking on a little bit of time here, because again, many of these things that we talk about in this episode and stuff, it's cut and dry, family. This is why we did an episode a long time ago in the archives there, which you can search. Which again, thank y'all for your support. What do you believe? What do you believe about all this? Right? Do you believe that we got ancestors and family of ancestors and stuff that support this kind of sick playing who's better than who game in our family and friends of families and stuff, or do you not? Right? Again, I go to mention something, man. I wanted to hit y'all, but I got to say it because it's so impactful when I found out about it today. The idea that when you type in your search bar, right, black massacres in, and then start picking the states, family, do you know how many different of these massacres you find? Do you know when you say black massacres in certain ones of these states, while it might not be black, it's massacres against our native brothers and sisters? Do you know how many you find? There's damn near one for every state. And again, we had spoken about this whole attack up in Canada with our Filipino brothers and sisters. Shout out the Filipino community one time, right? Shout out to Filipino, man, right? Again, as they say, the brown seed, right? I'm just saying what it is, family. Island folk, right? Hawaii, Philippines, all this area, right? On this part of the world. They've gone through too, family. Again, this show went on the road. What happened in the South with the movie Sinners went on the road. Yeah, we're saying what it is, family. This is sickness in the minds of people. Primarily from the continent of Europe, going around, hurting people. Again, from the East, bringing their twisted belief of the Bible, hurting people. That's not some new quote-unquote woke mess. That's history. Okay? That they use folks to soften up so the government can come on in and mow them down. And damn it, that's what happened. Again, we're not doing conjecture. We're reading historical account. Okay? The historical account in Africa. The historical account in Australia. The historical account in Japan. They're making video games off it now, family. Come on, somebody. There's one thing to point out here, because we're not trying to hold y'all long, okay? We can go on and on about this mess. The idea of the brother who is now turned, right? I believe it was Smoke. I don't think it was, or maybe it was Stack, I think. My apologies on which one, right? Basically, Michael B. Jordan is turned against Michael B. Jordan. Where have we seen that kind of dynamic in life, right? You fighting you. That's a very real thing, man. Again, in the biblical sense, the way the Apostle Paul, St. Paul says it, right? This idea of doing what we would not want to do, right? Not doing what we should do and doing what we shouldn't do, right? Warring. Again, confused with ourselves. This is not a shot at our homosexual and transgender community before y'all take that. Before you take it and run with that. We talking about people, all people groups, doing things that they shouldn't do and not doing what they need to be doing. And this is for all of us, right? And then by the time that the brother is turned, now he's on the other side of the door. Don't let him in. Family. We got family, right? Family. We got family members. They are tainted in their mind by this mess. This elitist, sick mess. They were raised in it. That house Negro, especially the black community, the brown community, the white community, they were raised in this mess to believe someone is better than the other. On the plantation, when you read the slave codes, my God, when you read them, how a lot of this mess broke my heart. We'll go over it in some episodes, a little bit at a time, because this is a lot of mess, right? You read these slave codes, family, they divided you up by who was stronger or who was weaker, who was older and who was younger, male and female. Although God created them both, no, we're going to divide them up. People had to sit there and watch that mess from their plantation window and watch that mess, experiencing it in the fields that they show in this movie Sinners. No, y'all drop that mess. We are one. When they talk about it from the Christian stand, that's why it's so horrible with these different denominations. Y'all better get it together. That ain't went nowhere. So stop asking me to come to your church and you got that kind of hellish mess in it. Nope. That's never the way it's been. We keep playing this, congregational membership increase so we can get money in the pocket of the preacher and not the congregants. I'm sorry, y'all. See again, we got to stop defending the wrong here. Right? So, again, we got family members, they've been turned to the dark side. Man, you better be careful, man. You better be careful. When we're doing business with family, again, as Big Mama and Mama taught us, right? And even our grandfathers and fathers, man, yeah, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. But now is the time more than ever, family, to find out the kinfolk. We know they might share your skin tone and they ain't for you. But it's time to find out who is for you. The other side's already doing it. They got their Confederate flag waving, Nazi march going. I mean, they done found their friends, man. Have you found yours? Right? You've heard from me, even with me, man. We find in my pack the people I roll with, man. Folks that have helped me produce the podcast, people that have helped me in my own life, man. This is for anybody. Whatever business venture you're on, family. Truly, when we talk about truth, justice, and the American way, that ain't no Superman DC comic mess, man. We talking about what was the American way before Europe came calling, right? So I just wanted to get on to talk about that a little bit, not take too much time here. I know it was 7 minutes, but not too much time, right? Thank y'all, family. We hope you enjoy the episode, and we will talk to you soon. All right. And a good morning, family. What's happening? What it do out there, family, today? How are y'all doing? Thank y'all for tuning in today, right? Another day back on the chat, right? Back on the chat, this podcast, right? However you want to say it, to us, family, who are almost 1,200 plus strong. Which thank y'all, family, for your support. For those who love, believe in, thirst, hunger, seek after that, which is a different view, family. Welcome in. Today's topic is going to be a spoiler version. So there's going to be spoilers in this one, right? Of the movie Sinners. Some things that we want to as we get into this topic again, because this is a story about Black community, about Black pain, wrapped around vampires. Okay. So let's get into it. Number one, last time we were talking about rain, right? And some of these topics. We're here now in front of our computer so we can read them off here to you. Again, this is coming from rain.org. You can look, as you look up in your deal here, rain.org statistics, / statistics / scope hyphen problem. You can look it up that way, right? The headline reads, Scope of the Problem, Statistics, How Often Does Sexual Assault Occur? We're in Sexual Assault Awareness Month, right, family? Because we got a couple days here, right? August the 28th. How often does it occur in the United States? Okay. This is the graphic that they give. So again, there's other places where you can look this information up. We're just reading this one to you. As far as inmates, now again, you can, however you want to look at criminal and crime reform, right? So on and so forth. Okay. 8,000, so almost 81,000 inmates were sexually assaulted and raped. Okay. They do not give, from what I see, the dates. Some of these dates that they've compiled here, 2009 to 2013. Some of this is, for the most part, 2009 to 2013. This is kind of where they're getting a lot of the info from. that I see off this little deal here on RAIN's website. Children, 60,000. 60,000 were victims. That is through this 2009 to 2013 dynamic. General public, 433, 648. Americans 12 years or older were sexually assaulted or raped. Shout out to the families, right? The victims. I know we do a lot of victim splaining and all this mess, right? Our hearts and prayers go out to the victims who have gone through this stuff. Same thing when we take a pause here on this. Our hearts and prayers go out to our Filipino community, right? The brown seed, as they say, tan. Copper tone, right? Ben Franklin called him tawny, as we've read to y'all, right? Shout out to the Filipino community who's had to go through a horrible tragedy of 11 hours ago. Let me see if I have the headline pulled up here. I don't know if I do. I do. Different ones. When all you have to do is type in Filipino Canadian attack. This is still up in the continent of North America, okay? Up in Canada. Where a car plowed into a group of people celebrating the Lapu Festival. Do y'all know what that is? I did not until I went and go looking. Like we say on this podcast, as I learn, I share it with the people. Lapu, right? What does that? What is this festival's significance? Dealing with an attack over in the Philippines. All right, let me just pull it up real quick so that we can have this conversation real quick before we get into this whole thing here. Especially celebrated in the central Philippines, right? That set of islands there. Southeast Asia, I believe. Southwest Asia. Excuse me. Honors Datu Lapu. And forgive me, right, to the family and to the Filipino community if I'm mispronouncing. A Filipino chieftain, right? Tribes, since people talk this mess about tribalism is toxic and all this mess, right? We're going to show you what actually is toxic. Who defeated Spanish forces. Oops. Pause. Where is Spain, family? Yep. It's in Europe. Okay. All right. Yeah. Led by Ferdinand Magellan. Oop. Everybody who had a Magellan GPS back in the day, right? Oh man, maybe we should have bought a different manufacturer, right? maybe we should. Yeah. In the Battle of Mactan in 1521. So 1492. We know about the other boy there from Spain. Here's another one from Spain. See again, when we talk about these. Now the thing with Magellan, it's funny when you watch the movie Uncharted, which I did for the first time. Kind of a little bit of a, being a video gamer and some of these video game things, some of them don't really hold my interest. Some of it was cool. Some of the actors they tried to read. I'm not going to really do a thing on that one. It's not really as impactful as Sinners is. It was nice, but right. Again, Sully's an old man, so why is he being played by Mark Wahlberg? He's not old enough yet, right? Sully was an old grizzled type dude, right? I always confuse this dude with Tobey Maguire because of Spider-Man and stuff like that. But Tom Holland being Nathan Drake, again, Nathan Drake was older. Nathan Drake is older, family. So right. But they bring out some things about Magellan, about again, European attack on the rest of the world. I got to say it that way. Under this guise of like we trying to, spread science and all this mess. Now that's not a nope. No. Nope. The celebration of Filipino people's resistance to colonialism, as the phrase goes. Again, we call it invasion over here. We call it invasion. The story of Red Riding Hood, man, that wolf was trying to, posing as the grandmama. We trying to eat you, though. That's the nature of the wolf. Right? When it's feeding time, that's how it gets down. Okay? And even though under the native zodiac, my sign is under a wolf, man, and we've talked about this before on this podcast. We ain't family, no. We ain't out here to hurt nobody, man. That's not the name of the game. right? But you got to recognize where the problem is. Less of it is with us. We have issues we got to deal with, family. We're talking to black and brown seed right now. And for those, poor white folks and stuff, those who don't subscribe to this mess, we understand, right? Because again, that was what's going on in this movie Sinners. Haley Steinfeld at one point, man, she's in love with Michael B. Jordan, man. They had a relationship. Any brothers know about dealing with white women? Unfortunately, Shannon Sharp does, man. Again, no means no, brother. We got to be careful, okay? We got to be careful, family, right? Let's treat each other with some respect. Cross-culturally, interculturally, whatever. Let's treat each other with respect. And we don't have these problems, right? Whenever we stop respecting each other, and loving on each other, this is where this mess comes in. Ferdinand Magellan, man. Looking for trade routes? That's what they tell you about the history of Mr. Magellan. He's looking for trade routes from Spain out here to the west. Again, coming from the east. Let's stop the hoax with Europe, y'all, right? The 1800s version of the Prime Meridian and the one that you look at maps before that. We're not just going to be like, oh, they agreed on this one, so this is what it is. No, that's not what the planet is, right? The planet didn't change because they agreed, because Europe, right? It's funny that Europe, I believe England specifically, is who agreed on what the Prime Meridian is now that we say is East and West. No. The Western Hemisphere is Europe, Asia, Australia, right? Africa. That's the West. That's the Eastern world. The Western one is the Americas. It was an attack from the East on the West, family. Western civilization was already civilized by the time they came over and made it uncivilized. It's interesting, you can find, you look up, man, do Black Massacre in and start picking states. Just start picking states, family. I just found out this information today. It shocked me. It broke my heart. Man. The hell is wrong with people? I didn't do this before, so I know y'all probably heard some of that buzzing. Let me just kill the sound real quick. What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing, family? Much of this stuff is what you see in this movie, Sinners, okay? It's taking place in what they call the antebellum South. I don't even know why we got to put, and then we all listen to Lady Antebellum, but I digress. Oh, man, there's no shot at the group Lady Antebellum before y'all get wild. We just saying, right, why are we naming it the South, right? Let's make it plain. Let's make it plain. They wanted to take, under the guise of trying to separate to be free, they wanted to take. And they used the black man and woman to enrich themselves. No different than what was happening up in the North. As if the North was a place you can escape. Family, unfortunately, because of the way man has done this, there is no escape. There is a way that we can band together and stay together whereby we do escape. But as far as living on this planet, family, is quite clear. Where do you go? The government funded, while they give government funding and you don't want us here, and you got a lot of people saying who don't want us here, let's put this one in the algorithm. Why don't the government fund a place for where black people can go to be free? How about that? But you don't see that, do you? In the UN and all that kind of thing. A place where we can go and we can be away from this mess. Our family members who want to come with us, all that kind of thing, where we can be away from this mess. Right? We're just saying what it is, where we can live free. You see that going on? You got executive directives for all of the type of mess. Christ is king, who's a boy and a girl, all of this mess. It's smoke screening, family. That, listen, can say for what it is. And again, this is the opinion of the content creator. Again, where do you see that? You don't see it nowhere. When blacks and freed people occupied Liberia, the government paid for them to go there, family. Where else do you see that? Clearly, they're trying to do it up in Washington. They don't want them doing it up in Washington. It's sick what's going on, y'all. And then in the South, you see them picking cotton and doing all, doing the thing, making the man rich, right? At one point, one of them, they got freed and, they riding with the crowd who's going to make this club where they can go sing and play blues and all that kind of, shout out to the blues, right? This is also Jazz Appreciation Month. All that type of music that they downgraded. How much music the black man, not just hip hop and breakdancing and beatboxing and all this other kind of stuff that no. Every form of music, family. it was cool to see how how the singing, how the soul connects to generations, past and present and future. Because that's what it is. Music binds us together, family, like many other things. How we live as cultures, different cultures, binded together by the maker that made us. It's sickness what you see in the other way around, family. This divisional mess is sickness. I don't know what that mess was about the river dance. Can somebody in the comments or whatever talk to your boy one time about the river dance, right? Because we always learning. Is there supposed to be some evil behind the river dance or something? You know, like why are we out in these slave fields? You know, the white people and then the other vampires that join them and all that. We're doing the river dance as if that's that Celtic blessings and stuff like that ain't nothing. I think Phil Collins, he made a song, right? I believe it was Phil Collins made a song from the Celtic prayers, man. We ain't, come on now, everything ain't evil. So I don't know what that was all about. I understand you're trying to put in the element of should have did it with like a instead of like a Irish river dance type thing, man. Make that a banjo music. You know, make that something from the South, because that's what they was doing right before they'd go and mob up, kill folks in Tulsa and kill folks in Arkansas, kill folks in Michigan and kill folks over in Mississippi and Alabama, then the Carolinas and in New York. And in New Jersey. I'm telling you, look up the different black massacres that's going on, man. Killing folks, burning their towns. We talked to you about Mound Bayou in Mississippi, that railroad. Destroying stuff black people built. You want to talk about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. See, this is why you didn't need vampires in this movie, man. Talk about the actual thing that happened. It's more impactful that way. But again, sometimes, right, to give medicine to folks, you need to give them a little bit of that sugar. That's grape flavored Dimetap, and Dimetap's one of them old school ones. They do the same thing with what's the other one? Robitussin, cherry flavored, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes to give people medicine, you got to give them a little fluff. But for me, sometimes the way I learn and stuff like that, give it to me raw. That's how I learn and process, man. I don't need all that. Nah. Tell me how they slaughtered our native brothers and sisters, man. Talk about that. We could go into other things that get a little bit more controversial, but we won't, because we know how people are. But when you look at the history of each one of these things, man, the bully always starts the mess. The victim stands up for themselves, and then the next thing that comes out of people's mouth is what the victim did. This mess happens in school all the time. This gets real, and this comes to the front door when you talk about school activity. How many kids have defended themselves, wound up in the principal's office for the bully acting the jackass? And the principal and the faculty will defend the bully's family instead of prosecuting that bully's family, huh? Or that bully. How many times have we seen that family? Again, no different. Again, the let me in thing was cool. We understand with the let me in thing. These are just some things, I don't understand the river dance thing. There's no need for what are we river dancing? River dance has impact, man. Again, you could have been doing that with the banjo, with a hay stick in the mouth, sitting on like a couple of milk crates or something, because that's what they had back then, right? Do it that way. We understand these brothers was, Michael B. Jordan playing two brothers from Chicago, Smokestack, right? Smoke and Stack. We get that there's this whole level of debauchery and all that kind of thing where the word sinners is coming from. But again, not only the sinners of folks inside the black community who are operating in debauchery, as the word goes, right? We're talking about those who are outside the door, knocking at the door, right? Trying to come in to hurt and kill you. Those sinners, huh? We can't have that conversation. Stealing and taking from your brother, sister. That's why we say family, humanity. Not just like my family, family. We missing it and putting it aside, y'all, and we incurring damage upon ourselves as a result. Right. So, man, I really don't. There's not much really to go with this. Again, we really do want to give a shout out to those people, man. Killed 11 folks, taking down a car to mow down them people, celebrating their freedom from the European. Shout out to Chieftain Lapu Lapu, man, right? Very, very, very reminiscent of that same kind of car attack in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017, family. Who remembers that? That people that you got the good house Negro, they'll come up defend Massa. No, that's not his fault. That's on them people, KJ. It's cool. I ain't on y'all. Believe what you want. But we've seen the result of what's happening. That for damn sure we've seen. Right. So I mean that's my movie review. Again, it's a southern movie. They did all that with the vampires, only for dudes later to come out from the shadows with automatic rifles and guns and stuff, killing the white man. I mean, again, you could have just kept it to these two dynamics. But again, we understand in order to give people the medicine, you got to code it sometimes for folks because they don't, the taste of medicine's a little gross for some, right? Some people, they just take the pills, down them with water, and you're good. Some people, you need grape and cherry and watermelon flavor. And this is what you need. We use watermelon on purpose since folks think that's Negro apples and that a Negro love himself some watermelon, and make ice cream truck songs to it and all this trash, man. Mental abuse that's been going on with the people and the citizens of the United States. Or as better said, the people living on the lands of America, North America, right? The Americas. So that's what I got for y'all today, family. Real short, real sweet. We ain't wasting your time. It's a good movie. Go see it. Again, your boy does not think that thing should be at a 99. Not while you leave. What is Captain America at? Let me just look at this real quick here before we go. Let's see, what is 48% Rotten Tomatoes. 48%. So the Hispanic and the black man working together to stop the white man, who is the president, aka the Red Hulk. That one gets 48%. But you got white folks as vampires biting other black folks and bringing everybody over to the group. And the black folks fighting these people, that gets 99%. Yeah, we already know. See, again, a lot of this stuff, family, is biased. It is biased. Don't nobody want to see a black man as Captain America. But it's easy to talk about the South as vampires and black folks, you see? That's what we got for y'all today, family. Again, let's look out for each other. We will talk to y'all soon. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.